Hello, I'm Dr. Terry Pantuso, and in this instructional video we'll talk about how to format your research paper using APA's 7th edition style. This video is particularly targeted for students in English 104 at Texas A&M University. To begin, I suggest starting at the Purdue OWL website where they have the most updated version of the APA formatting guide, the 7th edition. When you go to that website at this address, you'll notice at the bottom there are two checklists. There is also a slideshow you can use, but if you open the checklist, it covers different things for you to look through as you're creating your research paper. Some of these things are very simple, but I want to cover them to make sure you know what you're doing. As usual, you're going to set your margins to 1 inch. You're going to have a typeface that is at least 11 point calibri, which is the default in Word. You're going to set all of your text to double space. There's one exception on the title page, which we'll cover in a moment. Your entitled essay is aligned on the left margin with a few exceptions on the title page. It gives you information on text spacing, to indent the first line of every paragraph, how to place quotation marks around any directly quoted material, where to use italics, the format for the title page, how to do your page numbers, how to format the body of your essay, how to use headings, which for this essay you will not need to use headings. This is too short of an assignment to break apart your information. And then your writing style, as well as how to write numbers, lists, in-text citations, blocked quotations, which again, you should not have in a paper of this length, possibly one blocked quotation, and then your list of reference pages. So I want to start at the beginning, the title page. As you can see, you're going to include your page number at the top right, flush and left, and that's going to be a continuous running page number. I will open a Word document in a moment to show you how to do that. The one thing you'll notice that's missing is a running header. There is no longer a requirement for a running head in essays submitted for undergraduate assignments. You'll have your title of your paper, your original title, not research paper, but the title that you've come up with. You'll have your name, your affiliation, which is Texas A&M University, the course name and number, including your section number, your instructor's name, and then the due date below that. So as we get started, you'll open a new Word document, and I've got my blank page. You want to go up and check all of your formatting first. You can accomplish this several ways, but one of the quick ways is through layout. Check your margins to make sure that they are set to normal, which is 1 inch all around. You can look at your spacing before, after, left, and right. There's a default to 8 point after. You want to make sure that is set to 0 so that there's no additional spacing. And you can furthermore change your line spacing to double. So now any information you enter into the paper from here on out, from this point where the cursor is blinking, will be double spaced and will be in the font that it defaults to, which is Calibri 11 point. In order to insert the page number, you go up to Insert, Page Numbers. You want this at the top of the page in the right-hand side. In some citation styles, the first page is different. However, APA, there is a page number on every page and we want them running in succession. So you do not check any of the boxes at the top. Leave them just as they are. It automatically defaults to 0.5 inches from the top, which is correct. So once you have the page number inserted, you'll hit Close Header and Footer, and now you're at the 1 inch margin spot, which is where you need to be in order to start your essay. According to the new APA guidelines, the first thing that should appear on your title page is your personal title in bold font, centered in the upper half of the page. Since we have already set the default to double space, 5 hard returns, or the enter key, should get us to about the middle spot of the top half of the page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From this point, you need to change your alignment to center. Make sure that you turn bold on for use of your title. For this assignment, for this example, I'm using articles that were given in an annotated bibliography exercise that we did online. And the title that could have been come up with for a paper using those articles might be as such. This is bold. This is the title of my research paper that would be presented. And as you'll notice, the only letters that are capitalized are the first words of titles or proper nouns. So in this case, and anything after a colon, in this case, preventing is the first word, so it is capitalized. HPV is a proper noun. It's an acronym standing for human papillomavirus. But the other words are not proper nouns, so they do not receive capitalization. After typing your title, APA format tells us to center 2 double spaces below your title. This is what's referred to as your byline. So at the end of this, you're going to hit the enter key twice, because we've already preset to double space. And then you're going to enter your name. Make sure you turn the bold off and enter your name. You're still in center alignment. So we're going to call this paper by Jane Doe. Then after your name comes the affiliation, the name of your school. Simply hit enter, type the name of your school, hit enter again, enter your course name, which is ENGL 104. I'm going to say Jane is in section 510. So you simply hit a period and type the number 510. You enter again, enter your instructor's name. So since Jane is my student, she would enter Dr. Terry Cantuso. And then enter one more time and enter the due date. For this particular assignment, it is due on May 3rd, 2020. This is all of the information that goes on the cover page. So now we're ready to start typing our body of our paper. As you can see, the cursor is blinking at the end of the date. If you simply hit enter one more time, go ahead and change your alignment back to the left. And then if you go up to insert, pages, page break, it will automatically throw you to the second page so that you can start entering the body of your essay on this page. Notice the page number has carried forward with it. Now, in APA format, sometimes there's an abstract after the cover page. For this assignment, we are not doing an abstract. It's really not long enough for you to write an abstract, which would basically be a summary, and it kind of defeats the purpose of what the objectives are for the assignment. So simply start your text on the second page, the body of your essay. The first line is where your introduction will be. If you were using headings, this would be the place where you would create your first heading. But since we're not, we're just going to start with the essay. You want to hit the tab key once and start your introduction. I've taken the liberty to insert some text that might be in the introduction. So if you notice the first line is indented, simply using the tab key. Do not use the space key. The tab key creates the proper amount of spacing. Enter your information. You'll continue to type your paper as you go through the entire essay. You keep it completely single space, or double space. You don't add any additional spaces afterwards. And use the tab key to go over. If somehow you get an extra space in your paper, so I'm going to type some information here, and then we'll say I'm going to another paragraph and type some information here. Notice there's a lot of extra space here, but you don't understand what happened. A quick shortcut to find out what happened is to go up to go up to Home, and this little backwards P symbol is the paragraph symbol. On the home page, this backwards looking P with the double lines is a paragraph symbol. It's also the codes. If you click on it, it reveals the codes the computer is using for formatting. Now when you print, these do not print. You don't get this little arrow, you don't get these dots between the letters, but those are codes to the computer to tell it to put a space between these words, to indent this line, to insert a hard return or the enter key. So if you find that you've got extra space in your paper once you look at it and you don't know where it came from, the way you can eliminate it is to go into paragraph, reveal those codes, place your cursor in front of it, and simply hit delete, and it will take out that extra space. For the sake of time, let's assume that you've entered all of your information, you've moved on, you're at the end of your paper, and you're ready to insert your references page. Remember that your references page comes on a page all of its own at the very end of your essay. So what you'd want to do again is you have that hard return code entered. You want to insert a page break again to create your references page. I've taken the liberty of copying over those sources that I mentioned earlier that we use in a course assignment for APA annotated bibliographies. Now these are not in correct order, so that's part of what this exercise is going to be. I've left the codes open for just a moment so that you can see what I'm doing with the formatting. So again, if that bothers you, it's this little symbol at the top with the backwards P. If you simply click on it, they disappear. But if you want to be able to see exactly what's going on with your paper, it helps. So the word references needs to be centered on the page. Everything else needs to be aligned on the left-hand side. The way to accomplish that is keep your cursor in front of the words references and hit center. And then you want to make sure when you get back, you're back to the left-hand margin. Now, for the references page, all of your sources must be alphabetized by author's last name or first word. So, some of these sources don't have an author's name. This one does not, this one does not, this one does not. So they're going to start with the first letter of the article. All of these citations are done in the current version of APA 7th edition. So if you did this assignment for homework and you're wondering if you got them correct, here are the answers. Now let's place them in alphabetical order. Now that I've placed them all in alphabetical order, as you can see, Brody, Schroeder, Hopfer, Howard, M, Q, and R, it's time to fix their formatting. I suggest that when you first enter them onto your references pages, just type all of the information as it's to be. Remember that new format style requires that you only put one space between each word and after punctuation, not two spaces. You have, for some there are URLs, for some there are DOIs, and you do want them linked. I want to call attention to this particular piece that's highlighted because it does not belong here. This is what pulls from the RefWorks when you download the citation straight from the library website. It throws in this extra number after the journal article. This is what's called the accession number or the ISSN number. It's not a stable link. Only DOIs are stable links. But for some reason RefWorks throws it into your citation. So you want to make sure you read through everything you pull off of RefWorks and check it off of that Excelsior website, off for the Purdue OWL site that we were looking at. This one, to make sure that it's correct. If you click on the references page, it will show you how to do all of the different ones, a print book, an online book, a website, a web page, etc. So make sure that you check all of your downloaded citations against what it says on that website. And then remove information that doesn't belong, or fix formatting. If it's not italicized and it's supposed to be, make sure you fix that. If you're wondering what these little circles are, it has something to do with HTML language, which is not mine. So they don't really matter in terms of the coding of the computer. So now I'm going to turn off the codes, and as you'll notice, everything is aligned on the left, but we need that hanging indent. So how do you accomplish that? How do you not break URLs? You've typed all the information out, it's there. The best way to do it is capture all the information. If you left click on in front of the first one and highlight all of the information, go up to paragraph. Under indentation, you want to say under special, hanging, and it defaults to a 1/2 inch, which is correct. Make sure your line spacing stays double, and you take this extra space out afterwards, and then say OK. It fixes your citations for you with a hanging indent. All of them are correct. The URLs are not broken, the DOIs are not broken. It's the easiest way to get the hanging indent consistent for all of your sources. And notice your page number is still there. So, this has been an instructional video on how to format your research paper using the 7th edition style of APA citation. Again, is intended for students in English 104 at Texas A&M University, and I'm Dr. Terry Plantuso.